Hey, welcome to the Ringer Gambling Show here on YouTube, here on Spotify. Oh my God, we're all over the place. Cousin Sal here. Anthony Dabbundo is here. Danny Heifetz is back from Dublin. Danny, are you back? Are you back? Are you fully connected to your time zone that you reside in, or you still a little hungover from the festivities last week?
Definitely still hungover. I mean, I'm loosely connected to my time zone anyway, especially when Cowboys Packers goes to overtime and it's like
Oh,
5:30
I
in the
know.
morning. So, no, yeah, back though. You guys
Yeah,
miss
yeah,
me?
that was something. We did miss you. Yeah, I mean, Dabbundo was like F cursing you up and down, like, what? It's like 2:30 in the afternoon. Why can't he jump on? I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Let the kid have some fun. Who knows if he'll ever be, east of LaGuardia Airport again? I don't know. Dabbundo,
Look,
isn't
I
that
mean,
right?
I don't know. I feel like you go to Europe, you still can make a 5 hour time change work. We've all been to Europe, I presume. I know Heifetz has. I was there. I did pods from across the pond. So,
Wow.
Heifetz, taking a little week off from the pod. That's all right. We had
Kid
our
puts on
first winning
one
week.
weird, ill-fitting helmet and just thinks he can just work from any
It's like
time zone in the entire
Greg
world.
Lazinski over there. I know. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There was
All right,
one
listen.
thing that changed, Sal. No
What is it?
Heifetz last week, and we had our first winning week in the 107.
Oh, is that right? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Starts to make you wonder.
Yeah. Heifetz, you have anything you have to do? You turn in some dry cleaning or something? We could, and come back in an hour. But yeah, well,
I actually was just gonna go fitted for a helmet. So actually, yeah, I actually
This one doesn't.
Okay.
It doesn't quite fit. Yeah, it's close.
Is that the thing you get ice cream out of? What is that?
No,
They
that
have a
looks
super
big.
duper ice cream. I think this helmet fit me maybe 15 years ago, and it's just kind of lounged around in my house for various periods. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to add it to my little background here.
Mm,
So usually it sits right there, but for Red October, I'm exclusively
gross
wearing
Phillies.
the helmet on the spot.
Gross. We'll get to the baseball in a minute. As the bundle mentioned, we'll have our 107 picks. These are the ringer shows. They're pitted against each other, 5 picks a week. We'll go over those. The baseball playoffs, 3 game threes yesterday. Very exciting. Plus NFL. We've got college picks. We'll do some handy clipping. But let's go over that Thursday night football game. This is the Ringer Gambling Show presented by FanDuel. And if you're betting on the NFL, FanDuel's the place to do it. You've got everything. Same game parlays, quick bets for when you jump in live and your way. So you can set your own lines. The app's fast. It's easy to use. And best of all, when you win, you get paid out instantly. Download the FanDuel app or go to FanDuel.com/gamblers to get started. Yes, you must be 21 or older and present in select states and 18 or older in D.C., Kentucky, and Wyoming. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. The 49ers take it on the road. What was it? 7.5-point underdog. But by the time it kicked, 26-23. Spread was not in question ever, really, there. The game went over. I mean, first of all, let's start with this. That Rams kicker stinks. I added him in 2 leagues. Heifetz, Josh Carty. So congrats to the Boner Jacksons on the fantasy win. He missed a field goal, which I think I would have been closer to making that from Brooklyn. And he missed an extra point. Both
He
obviously
didn't miss an extra point. It was blocked.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, he missed that guy's hand. That's true.
The Rams should probably be able to block kicks. They lost 2
all right,
games
but let's
'cause they
focus
can't
on
block.
that field goal that ended up in Glendale. I don't know what happened. So obviously both went to overtime. Was that a bad pickup, Heifetz, this Cardi guy?
No, I think it was great, right? You got a bunch of points from him. You're thrilled
Yeah,
about it.
really good.
Great job.
So the big play before the really big play was Alfred Collins punching Kyron Williams in the face, and the ball comes free with 1:02 left or something. The Rams were looking to score. They would have been up by 4. That would have been a tall order for Mac Jones, still in a position to win. What do you think, Dabbundo? Should this have been called? I thought it was like a perfect punch, punch the ball out, but he nailed him in the face. Obviously, the refs can't see it that quickly, but when you replay it, it's pretty brutal.
I'm all for punching. What
Okay.
do the players get from that? Like, if you get punched in the face, but you're wearing a helmet,
Yeah, concussion.
isn't that the point of the helmet? I'm
You
not.
tell
I have,
us
no
you're the
sympathy,
helmet
I have
guy.
no sympathy for Kyron Williams in this situation. The guy
Oh.
has fumbled. He's been a disaster in short yardage. Cost me fantasy points as well last night. The Rams' inability, and it goes to the goal line too. It almost did cost them the game. Almost cost them the game multiple times. Their inability to run in short yardage is it's heinous. Honestly, it's disgusting. It's gross. And every other team in the league is able to, at least for the most part, get a yard when they need a yard. And the Rams, when they run it, and then on the final play of the game, they're running the ball with receivers and tight ends as their lead blockers. It was terrible.
Right.
So yeah, I have no sympathy for the Rams, and you should not get bailed out by, soft penalties, so to speak, or like 50-50 penalties in the fourth quarter of games when you make mistakes.
The short yardage stuff, the short yardage stuff with the Rams is an issue. I think the problem with it, and the reason I didn't love them going for it on 4th and 1, and it's like, oh, you get it. No one mentions it ever again. You don't get it. Everyone makes fun of you. But the job of a coach to look at the analytics and what it says is to be like, I have a backup center, I have a backup guard, and you can't really sneak with Stafford. Stafford's like a Tua, like you can't really sneak with him. So it makes it easier to stop the run because they're not really afraid of the sneak. So I think that's a huge issue on the short yardage stuff, and people blame Kyron. But you kick the field goal. Mac Jones is limping.
Yeah, but you can't kick. You can't kick.
No, the field
you just made fun of the kicker in the last.
The short yardage stuff it is harder when you can't sneak. Again, your interior line, like you have 2 backups in there, but overall, it's funny to me because Kyle Shanahan wanted Mac Jones originally in that draft, and I'm like, clearly he can make anyone work. I thought it was an impressive.
Right, he hinted that he wanted him at 3, and now he's got him. So I just need him to be better than Drake, maybe, and this all works out for me. For Mac Jones, who's 3-0 now. But no, you don't kick Heifetz, you kick a field goal there, and then it's either tie or Niners win. There's like 3.5 minutes left. They were moving the ball. You got exhausted defenses in overtime. But you're right, not exhausted enough to stop the 4th and 1 that everyone saw coming. I mean, really.
The problem was the process that they needed a timeout. You need the advantage in the situation is them thinking the defense staying disciplined enough that, oh, they're not going to go for it. They're trying to draw us off sides. You want that split quarter second, and you call a timeout, it ruins it.
Yes, exactly. That's the way you're going for it.
Put the ball in Stafford's hands then if you don't trust your ability to run the ball on 4th and 1 behind a receiver and a tight end. I mean, Stafford completed short stuff all night. Williams out of the backfield. Nakua was getting open instantly. The Niners have no pass rush at all. The only time the teams got stopped in this game is when they tried to run the ball behind their bad offensive lines. That was the only time the Niners got stopped and the only time the Rams got stopped. The Niners.
And maybe if they push with Stafford, it would fix his back.
Right.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, like a chiropractic tush push. Yeah. I don't mind that. Do they have that in LA? I'm surprised that's not even offered. Yeah. Yes, but you have to be able to audible out of that. As soon as you see as the free safety is like 3 inches from the line of scrimmage and defense is selling out, and you're handing the ball to a guy who just fumbled, may still be concussed by that club to the face mask there. What about Puka in space, right? Like, what about, anything, any kind of.
They ran it on the goal line. They scored on that play, right, in the third quarter.
Does it ever work when it's 4th and 1, when you just it's a packed box and you just hand it to the tailback up the middle? I think it ever works there to win a game. But anyway, I'm trying to think what else I wanted to say about this game. Oh, the crowd was awful. The Rams crowd. I praised the Chargers for getting some fans, and I feel like the percentage is moving closer to 50-50. You couldn't see a purple shirt in the effing crowd. They did not show up. I mean, I'm trying to think. The Dodgers weren't playing. Where is anybody? This was unforgivable, right?
You were out of town. The Rams needed you.
That's true. Yeah,
it's your fault, really. If you think, I don't know. I lived in LA for a few years. I remember seeing 2 real Rams fans before they won the Super Bowl. I just think, honestly, this is like they moved from St. Louis. It's like the 49ers won 4 Super Bowls on the West Coast. It's, there are probably there's way more Niners fans in LA than Rams. I
don't remember that many Niners fans for Niners home games. I mean, it was really, if you see the pan of some of the footage, it's despicable.
Stafford went silent count. Stafford went silent count in that game in the third quarter.
Well, they do have the guy, and he's annoying. The PA announcer's like, "Whose house? Rams house," and that guy got booed. I think he went home in the second quarter.
Well, yeah, they kicked him out. I will say that's one of those things that you don't got to say it. Like, you know what I mean? It's like you don't just, you're like in a bar, you don't be like, "I'm a tough guy." It's like you don't usually have to say whose house it is, if we're being honest.
Yes. Also, open your eyes. You could see it's not the Rams house. That's all you need.
Yeah, Al Michaels was struggling. I put it on mute in the second quarter, and I went to all volume on the baseball, so I didn't even listen to the game, to be honest with you, until like overtime.
Al had a few, tender moments. I'm not sure. I mean,
it's always rough.
This was an easy one for him. He lives 4 miles away. It's tough.
It's always rough when you can tell the color guy is like trying to help him get there.
Right. Yeah.
I don't want to say embarrassing him, but like overstepping. And Kirk had a few of those last night. Like this happens in local Philly where the radio guy is a legend, but he's older now. And like the color guy, you can tell he's trying to slowly explain what's actually happening. And like the personal foul call when Al was really confused at how they gave a first down and moved the ball to the 40-yard line, even though it was a roughing the passer, was rough.
He 100% has an earpiece in where the producers are telling him like to, even go throw a break or whatever the thing is. They probably don't bother him too much, but that would be an instance where like, you actually kind of called the roughing the passer, but now you won't acknowledge that that's why they're moving up the field 30 yards here.
Well, is it Al Michaels or is it AI like with the Olympics? Maybe he's not even there.
Right. Is it AM or AI?
AM.
Right. Yeah, I think Herb Street secretly wants his dog to take over for Michaels, and that's why he doesn't help too much. So, but poor Al. I did want to look at these division odds now, which changed, obviously. The Niners are now plus 100 to win this division. The Rams, they're 4-1 now, so the Rams are plus 240. The Seahawks plus 330, and the Cards 17-1. Listen, I don't trust any of these coaches right now, even the good ones, to make a good decision. And I think that Seattle is still a bargain at plus 330. We talked about him earlier in the week at plus 400. But Mac Jones, is he going to be named starter? What do you think, Heifetz? What was the number?
No, if Purdy comes back, I do think the irony is Mac Jones is like Purdying Purdy, but like realistically, he's injured. Purdy comes back. I think the truth is Shannon can win with everyone, even this backup, Adrian Martinez. He's not going to be able to distribute as easily, but he's mobile. Like I do think the Niners are going to be able to move, but overall, the Seahawks, to your point, the Seahawks are a good bet. I'm also not as, I think Mike McDonald's a good coach. I think there are times where he does trust the defense more than the offense, but we just saw Darnold win 14 games. I think the Seahawks are clearly, they're probably the best divisional bet of all 8 divisions. Yeah. I think that's the single best of the 32 teams. It's the Seahawks more than 3-1. I think that's easy. I have them 75-1 to win the Super Bowl from before the season.
Wow.
Oh, nice. All right. Yeah. Hold on.
How much did DK have to pay you to bet that?
No, he doesn't. He thinks that's a jinx.
DK Metcalf or Danny Kelly?
Danny Kelly.
I could see either DK having a problem with that.
We have the group chat.
All right. Hey, let's do 107. Today's Ringer 107 brought to you by FanDuel. Dabbundo, you and I, Team Capos, Handy Capos, are 9-11 on the year. We're 1 game back. Dabbundo, you got to step it up. Come on, man. This is it. This is where we step it up here. What is Team Ringer Fantasy, Heifetz? What's your great name, by the way? So thoughtful. What is your what's your record? You're also 9-11? I think you are. Yes, I have it here. Yeah, you are. Just say yeah. And 10-10 is at the top and first, and 8-12 is last, and that's Simmons and House. And I'm fine with the standings as is if they shake up this way.
You're fine with second? I'm not fine with second. No way.
I'm fine with them being fifth. That's it. I just want them to be fifth. That's all I want to root for the rest of the way.
Bill's last in the Ringer Fantasy League and 107.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Right.
Is he 0-4?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh. He is? Oh, I have to bring that up. That's great. What were some of his terrible picks? I remember he
took Chase first and then forgot it was super flex and then kind of pretended that he knew.
Yeah, he said you guys are dumb for taking quarterbacks. These quarterbacks are all the same. And then went on a run of like 4 quarterbacks in a row, 3 or 4 or 5 hours into the draft. I think it was something like that. Yeah. No, all right.
I mean, the early quarterbacks have been a bit of a disappointment. No, Hurts.
Well, I'll tell you
Jackson.
what. This was a great thing, Dabbundo, because we got to draft our punishments. I like this. This was we almost nailed this, but Heifetz, this was a really good idea. And Simmons drafted, should he come in last place, his punishment was to wear a jersey. Wear like a jersey that he wouldn't normally wear. We kind of left it vague, right, Heifetz?
Yeah, it's a jersey. We get to pick. It's basically the winner, but with the consultation of the league, gets to decide a jersey that Bill will have to wear.
Right. That's what I thought. And I was talking to him last week. He's like, I don't care. You know what? I know just the jersey I'm going to wear. I'm like, whoa. You don't get to decide. But you're going to wear a Gronk jersey, and we're going to be like, oh, look at that. No. We have to have some fun.
Yeah, we get to pick.
Yeah. All right. So
who is it going to be? Lakers Luka? Lakers Kobe?
I would like him to wear a Pat McAfee jersey.
I have one.
Do you really?
You have a McAfee jersey?
I bought it when he was still the punter, before he was like a big media person.
Beautiful.
2015 family trip to Indianapolis. I used to go on YouTube and watch. He used to go to a local bar in Indy and do like a comedy talk show every Monday night, the Pat McAfee show on YouTube. And I would watch it. I was like 15, 16, 17. And he was still is a great storyteller. So when I went to Indy and went to the big store outside the stadium, I said, I got to buy McAfee. And people are like, why are you wearing the punter's jersey? What's wrong with you? I feel like that jersey has aged pretty well.
You know,
bring that
to well in the eyes of some, but
3 weeks we're all going to be in LA. Yeah, we'll have Bill try it on, see if it fits.
Yes,
it might be a little small. Bill's taller than me too, so that could be tough. It's also a 2015 jersey.
Whatever.
16, but
even
yeah,
funnier.
We'll see.
Yeah, if he's 0-7 by the time we see each other in 3 weeks, he should start getting fitted for some of these jerseys. I was trying to think what else would be good.
I could get him. Could we get him to hold it up with the picture?
Yeah. I mean, there's the Hernandez for the Patriots. There's a lot. There's a lot of good ones. He picked the wrong one.
We'll have a ranking. This can be we can have a rank and we'll poll every week or a week.
The best part is he was like, one of the punishments you could choose was no coffee for a week, right?
He suggested it and then instantly realized that would matter.
No way I'm doing that. I'll die. I'm like, this jersey thing's gonna be so much worse. I promise you. So, all right, here we go. Dabbundo, let's do this. This week you had 3 picks. I had 2. We went 3-2 last week, as you mentioned. Start us off. We are taking some shitty quarterbacks this week, but go ahead.
We could not be taking worse teams. I think if you lined us up and said,
"Oh my God,"
other than the Titans, we are on the bottom of the barrel here. First pick, New Orleans Saints. Sorry, Danny, -1.5 at home. Look, the Giants' run defense is so bad. And I know Danny's struggled through this, but they're dead last in rushing success rate, dead last EPA per rush allowed. I think the Saints, they ran it all over Buffalo last week, and I think it's a decent matchup for them to try to do the same thing here. I think they have an easier path to offense. And really, Rattler has not been terrible. He's not been good. Like I wrote in my preview for the Ringer, the betting column that I write, that he's 18th this year. And my editor was like, isn't that mid? And I was like, yeah, but it's relative. Relatively compared to what we thought he was going to be. He's actually been pretty decent.
Ruiz has him 4th, 16 spots ahead of Baker. But all right, that's interesting.
Rapidly moving up. He might be coming from Mahomes' spot soon. But on the other side, I got Jackson Dart, who averaged 3.6 yards per play with this offense last week, going on the road for his first ever start without his best receiver. I don't know how the Giants get any explosiveness outside of Dart scrambling. So I think this is just a clear advantage to the Saints here. I have the Saints rated slightly better without Neighbors, and they're at home. So give me the 1.5 Saints.
All right. You know what? Heifetz, the Giants may have, I don't know what you put as their low point in your life. Maybe it was Danny Dimes running and nobody chasing him and he falls. Maybe it was that. Maybe it was Mara with his head in his hands deciding if they're going to re-sign Barkley or not, and then they don't. Maybe it was, Neighbors getting hurt last week. But I think this is it. Being an underdog to the New Orleans Saints is right there at the top of the list.
It's funny. I actually know exactly what the low point is, which is the Giants running a quarterback sneak on 3rd and 8 from their 4-yard line.
Oh, yes. Joe Judge era.
That was an all-timer, being like, we need to create with quarterback sneak on 3rd and 8. But we took the Giants in points in this one. I agree. Like, I understand the Saints are probably they should have been favored, or whatever. But I know Neighbors is out, but I'm like, you know what? I actually kind of think the run defense is going to get together. I think the Giants still have way more talent on the defensive line. The Saints are out. Cesar Ruiz is going to miss this game, so they have someone I actually have never heard of this guy. But it's Torricelli Simpkins the third is going to be the guard for the Saints in this game.
Oh, the third, yeah,
exactly. Well, I mean, you remember his
the second was very good.
The grandfather, yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Helsinki, 1919.
He's playing too.
Exactly, but I actually don't, faith is the wrong word, but I kind of think the Giants are going to look a little bit. I mean, Jackson Dart, I know he only had 111 passing yards last week, but I actually think Darius Slayton's going to look a little better than people think. It's not. I mean, they gave him incredibly. The Saquon money went to Darius Slayton. They gave him $12 million a year last couple months ago, and he had a groin injury, I think, to start the first 2 weeks. But I actually think Darius Slayton over 60 yards is like 2-1.
Okay, all right, that's a good one. Yeah, I'm just trying to think.
Fast turf.
Dabbundo. Are the Saints even going to be favored the rest of the year? Home against Carolina, maybe? That's it, though. That can't.
They would be favored at home against Carolina. That might be it. I mean, you never know. Like the one quarterback injury. Maybe Rattler is actually the 4th best quarterback as Ruiz ranked him.
No. Here's another one. This team is not favored, and they don't deserve to be. They're catching 10.5 points. I like the spot for Cincinnati. The Bengals, they were so bad last week, and now they have the mighty Lions here. I'm going against the grain big time here at Dabbundo. You know this. Cincinnati's outscored, 76-13 in the last 2 weeks. They punt every effing possession. Detroit's red hot. Detroit's beat them, I think, 7 in a row. Which makes me think they don't care about pouring it on. This is like just the pull out just enough to win thing. Jamar Chase, I think, gets free for the first time in forever. And we're like, oh, here we go. And it's a low scoring, crappy 23-19 Lions win. But I like the 10.5 in the battle of the cats. Bengals save a tiny bit of face. I don't have any stats I can point to make this like a sexy pick, except that I just don't think the Lions have it in them to care too much to cover the 10.5.
Can I ask you why you don't think the Lions will pour it on? I think of the Lions as a team that are happy running up the score as any team in the NFL.
Really?
Yeah, I kind of agree. But
what do you mean you kind of agree? You like the? I thought you said
no. I agree. The Lions like to run it up. I just think it's still too many points.
All right. That's a lot.
Look, here's the thing. Betting against Dan Campbell, traditionally not a smart idea. Mm-hmm. He is 17-3 straight up last 20, 14.
See, this isn't going to help. Yeah.
Against the spread. But this line is preposterous. I mean, you'd have to think the Bengals are almost Titans level to justify this.
I think I do understand what you're saying, Sal, because the argument is the defenses that rock the Bengals pretty good. The Vikings, I know the Broncos defense is controversial, whether it's overrated or not. Mm-hmm. But the Vikings, Broncos, 3 weeks ago, we thought were pretty great defenses, and we all thought, Lions defense. It's not hard to imagine Jason Higgins making this like a game where you're very happy to have 10.5 points.
And look back in history, it's tough to get blown out 3 weeks in a row. It is hard. Like I figure this is when the public is all over Detroit on a teaser and money line. I think Detroit wins, but it's especially the third game. And if it's home, this has got to be, I'm not going to say a turning point, but it has to be something that they can look to and grow on a little bit. 10.5.
Fantasy show. We had Lions giving 10.5. So now we are literally on both sides of both games. So
oh, you are? Okay, good.
Oh, wow. All right, so it could be we could be looking back next week. A lot of separation between the two teams, or we'll just all go 500.
We just split everything, and it's
all right. Dabbundo.
My favorite outcome of the Ringer 107 would be if all 5 teams finished tied at exactly 500,
or one game under 500.
One game under 500. I guess.
Well, there's going to be some.
Now there could be a push. There could be a push.
No, but there will be tie. Yeah, right. I mean, there'll be a -3, and it might be this one you're picking right here, Dabbundo, that ends up exactly a 3-point spread.
Yeah, Seattle Seahawks -3, riding with the Fighting McDonald's at home. For me, this is all about Tampa Bay's offense being reliant on explosive plays, and we saw it last week. Like they got back into the game against Philly because there was a blown coverage. There was 2 guys that got mixed up in coverage, and the ball got through, and they hit 2 basically 60-plus yard touchdowns in the second half. They were not able to methodically move the ball down the field because they can't block, and now without Bucky Irving, they can't run, and their best receivers out. So Tampa Bay has made it work to this point offensively, but it's a lot of third down magic, and it's a lot of explosive play magic. And guess what you can't do against Seattle? Get a lot of third downs and get explosive plays. Seattle's defense, number 2 in the league in preventing explosive plays this year, and one of the best third down defenses since McDonald became the coach. So good luck to Tampa Bay scoring here in this matchup. Meanwhile, there's a sneaky amount of injuries on the back half of the Bucs defense to be concerned about. So, I don't think Seattle's going to be able to run it too well. This game might also be a good under, but I like Seattle -3.
I don't even know if those injuries are sneaky. Like they're all over the place, all over. And it makes me think like Seattle should maybe even be favored by 3.5. But do people just love Baker and Baker's comeback and Baker's fourth quarter so much that they're going to worry about like a backdoor here?
Yeah, we chickened out of this bet because of that reason. I had the circle that's our favorite bet of the week, Seahawks giving 3, and then we chickened out because we're like betting against Baker this season seems dumb. But I mean, Todd Bowles said on Wednesday the Bucs had more players who could not practice on Wednesday than could.
Right. Okay, good. All right, Dabbundo, that's good. That's our most solid pick. And now I'm going to take us back down again with Arizona -8.5. Really taking some unreliable teams and quarterbacks. And I'm not even going to crush Cam Ward on the road. He does that himself. But 51 points they've scored in 4 games. And I think they've only scored 3 touchdowns out of the 51 points. And he takes a lot of sacks too. 17. The Cards themselves average 2 sacks, a couple of sacks a game. But how about the fact that Tennessee's defense is 25th in the league and 28th against the run? And I just think Kyler's going to have a ton of opportunities to run free and move the imaginary chains that no longer exist. I'm going to say 31-16 final. Dabbundo. Let's do it. We're going to bring it home with another crap squad here.
It would be really funny if Callahan found his fourth cover in 25 tries or whatever it is now. One of the worst against the spread runs of all time. And honestly, like I think it's a good barometer for coaching quality because we evaluate these teams and we say what the line should be, and then you get judged as a coach how you should do. And there's a lot of survivorship bias, right? Like if you're this shitty, usually you get fired by now.
Right. Exactly.
And he hasn't been fired yet. So maybe this is like you could spin this as like a once in a lifetime opportunity. You don't know how many more chances you're going to get to bet against Brian Callahan as a head coach.
There you go. Yep. The Tommy Boy Titans. Keep it going. Yeah, it flies in the face of my reasoning for Cincinnati covering. Like, well, they've just been so bad. Now they're going to be so good. But I do think the Titans are a different beast altogether. But the Panthers, also a very, very different beast. And we like them catching almost no points.
Yeah, Carolina plus 1.5. I'm betting the Panthers and the Saints to win a football game in the same week. That should pay out like 8-1. It pays out like plus 210. But I think Miami's win on Monday night was one of the most Mickey Mouse fraudulent wins you'll ever see in an NFL game.
Wow.
If you go back and look through the box score, the success rate, the net success rate of the game, the Jets were 30% better. The Jets, they blew the game. They fumbled on the 1 yard line. They had some dumb turnovers. They did things that the Dolphins did not win the game. The Jets lost the game. And then the Dolphins lost their best receiver. And now they're on a short week going on the road against Carolina. By the way, the Panthers have only played one home game this year. They did win by 30. I mean, it's not nothing. And I actually like this Carolina secondary.
Other team didn't score. You can't score. You can't score them in Carolina.
It's whose house?
The vaunted home field. Heifetz, did you see the podcast that quit? The Panthers podcast?
The podcast that quit. I missed I missed that in Ireland. What do you mean the podcast that quit?
So there's a Panthers podcast. They've been doing it for 6 years. And it's just these guys who love the Panthers. They're just always pounding, keep pounding. They do analysis and
Steven
breakdowns. Yeah. Steven Ruiz should have been a guest. Maybe he could take over since they're done. But they put out a big like notes app post this week. They're out. They're done. They said this organization is not worth our time. I'll send this link to you.
Yeah.
2 weeks after they won 30-0 over division rival,
right.
They're just out. They just bounced.
Well, I think the 42-13 against New England was a little disheartening.
And what are all the big sponsors going to do? Like what's Chevy and like a Bud Light? Would they just run from the sponsors this podcast? I'm guessing it was. I don't know.
I'm pulling it up. Yeah. It's called Meow Mix, a Carolina Panthers podcast. Right.
Okay. I feed my cat.
We're going on an indefinite hiatus. We have enjoyed bringing everyone our thoughts on the team since the first episode, July 30th, 2019.
Well,
we will be watching the games regardless, but locking ourselves away for 6 to 7 hours just to watch and discuss it. A 42-13 ass whipping has become more of a chore than anything else.
I don't want to derail the show, but one day, Sal, I need to tell you, I think that I'm a big fan. I think as I get older, I'm like fair weather fans is actually a better way to live life. We don't have to do that right now, but I actually respect them. Just give up on your team, come back when they're good.
Right.
I've often said, had I known I was going to be in this many pools and fantasy leagues and everything else and talking about it, I might not have picked like a favorite team to root for. It just kind of gets in the way of everything. And my parent corner was about my son now wanting to be a Cowboys fan and me having to, put him up for adoption. Like it really,
but I like it. Nitpick with that story terrible. Was you're like, be a Chargers fan. What's wrong is if the Chargers don't have just as much of a pained history. The last 20
I know,
years,
but at least he's got friends that he could commiserate with. They're 4 miles down the road and everything. I don't know. And
I do too when you're Yankees and Lakers too, like he is. I'm sure it's tough.
Right. Yeah, Yankees and Lakers. All right.
Duke.
So Carolina. Okay, so we have Carolina.
This is the ultimate buy low. Was the point I was
Arizona,
getting.
Seattle.
If the podcast is quitting.
Yes, exactly.
Then it's the buy low.
Hey, Tate Frazier should jump on that. There's a new, what is it? Meow Mix?
Meow
Take
Mix,
it over,
Carolina
Tate.
podcast.
Can Tate buy it from them? Big Carolina fan. He loves that team. All right. Heifetz, take us through some of your picks. I think we went head to head with which one?
Yeah, so I have Lions giving 10.5. You have Bengals giving 10.5. So one of us will win. Giants getting 1.5. You have the Saints giving 1.5. That's just because I bet against Dart last week, and I'm like, I don't want to bet against Jackson Dart again. We have the Broncos getting 4.5. I hate betting against the Eagles, but the games are always close, and honestly, Craig really wanted it, and we were like, whatever. Craig's my guy. But I'm like betting against the freaking Bo Nix to beat the Eagles, and I'm like, okay, sure, 4.5. We'll see. Colts giving 6.5. We've kind of resolved that we kind of want to just keep betting the Colts until like no one thinks Daniel Jones is legit. No one believes in this team. And we're kind of think the Colts are going to win 11 games and no one's going to notice the entire time that you can kind of just keep winning these picks. So it's a lot. 6.5 is a lot of points to lay with Daniel Jones, but we're like, we're just doing it. It's dumb. And then the last one here, we have a parlay. We have the Panthers podcast to resume. We have that picking back up this week. Money line with our real pick. This is a bit. But we decided, we just locked it in. We thought it'd be funny because we kind of were picturing the grid with the Ringer 107. And we thought of how funny it would be when this wins. We have the Ravens getting 1.5. And we did that because the entire episode we kept joking about how horrific the Ravens are. They're down literally 8 of their top 9 starters in terms of snaps played in week 1. 8 of the top 9 guys are out. Lamar's hurt. And we're like, man, the Texans, 1.5 with 11 Ravens starters maybe missing this game. And we kind of kept joking about how bad the Ravens are. Everyone's giving up on them. And we're like, they're going to win this game, aren't they? Like, that's how it goes. I haven't heard one note of Ravens positivity in 120 hours. And we're like, they're going to win. And we just were like, you know what? Whatever. This is George Costanza, like every instinct you have to the opposite. We're like, nothing about this tells you Cooper Rush will win this game. We think Cooper Rush is going to win the game.
I mean,
go ahead, Dabbundo.
Anytime you can lay points who's laying points with Houston here, though? The only team that Houston has gotten any margin or separation from was the potentially point-shaving, historically awful Titans.
That game was 6-0 entering the fourth quarter.
6-0 late in the fourth quarter, and that was after Joey Sly missed 2 field goals.
Right.
It was 6-0.
So I can't figure this Houston team at all, right? So maybe they're very lucky in that. Could you have a better back-to-back matchup than the Titans at home, followed by the decimated Ravens, who you can't even name like 3 players other than, who's handing Derrick Henry the ball. Like, there's that way to look at it. And then I hear like CJ Stroud's like, I might be too old for this league already. Everything seems too fast. Right. Like, what? Like, all right,
notorious athlete, CJ Stroud.
Nothing to do with this team. He actually was like a great basketball player too, though. Apparently, like I interviewed him. At least he's a celebrity.
Yeah, he shoots a basketball on the sideline every day before the game, which was a lot cooler when you were making the playoffs. Now it's like the offense can't move the ball. I'm like, Craig was saying on the show, maybe throw a football till you like win.
Yeah, no kidding. He's an old man now. What are you gonna do?
He's old. He remembers pickup, stuff. Old guy.
Today's Ringer 107 is brought to you by FanDuel. Odds are subject to change. Dabbundo, Heifetz hit on your favorite team. What do you think of this game? Colts -6.5 versus Raiders. They had an unlucky loss last week against the Rams. And now they have a team that people have given up, bettors at least in general. It's a weird spot. Is this a slight Undertaker moment for the Raiders where Geno Smith comes up like, whoa, wait a minute. All right, let's not count him out just yet.
I think a little bit. I just don't know. First of all, big addition for the Colts defense this week. The retirement of Xavier Howard. Huge addition. He was so bad that I was watching week 2 with my mom, who doesn't really watch football, and she was asking me confused. She's like, why does that guy keep holding like that? Because he got called for 4 penalties on 1 drive. And it was just unbelievable. And then last week, Puka Nacua was like, oh, look, there's Xavier Howard. Let me just cook him for 20 yards and 15 yards and 30 yards. And so he's out of the picture.
Derek Klassen at The Athletic joked that legitimately it should go on Puka Nacua's like Pro Football Reference page that literally Xavier Howard retired after facing Puka Nacua. Like literally, I can't remember the last time one player literally sent a man into retirement.
Not even the first Colt to ever do that. No. I know he wasn't a Colt when it happened, but Vontae Davis retired mid-game.
Sal, what was the closest moment someone sent you into retirement? What was the closest anyone ever sent you into just calling it?
When I asked you 3 times to put your MLB series pick in and you wouldn't into the outline and you wouldn't do it. And I was going to join the Meow Mix guys. I was like, that's it. I'm out. I can't be doing this anymore.
Heifetz, what would have to happen for you to quit the fantasy show? Like if everybody got hurt on your if you had a winless season, would you quit the fantasy pod?
Daniel Jones wins the Super Bowl, I'd quit.
You quit? All right.
If the Colts win the Super Bowl this year, I would consider quitting.
Really?
Not the show, just the space. I wouldn't do this job anymore.
Yeah, new career change. You can go solve world peace.
Yes.
I almost had the president of the United States force quit me. So a lot of times it's out of your hands. But all right, so we need Daniel Jones to win the Super Bowl. That'll be something.
Heifetz, you can come to the parade with me when it happens. I know a couple great bars in Indianapolis. We'll have a great time.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like an automatic teaser game, and yet I don't love it. Like maybe I think the Colts are good, but when I see the dumb shit how they lost to that Rams team last week, I'm like, oh man, anything's possible now with this. But Xavier Howard, I like to think the Cowboys retired Tom Brady because they beat Tampa Bay in the playoffs, and then Tom Brady's in the broadcast booth. Coincidence? No, nobody wants to play the Cowboys anymore. Speaking of, the Jets have them this week. It's out here in New York. I'm in New York. People want me to stay for this. My wife will kill. I'm gone like 8 days. So either my wife kills me if I stay for this game or I kill myself after we lose to the Jets. I think it's a fair spread. They're 2.5. We're not much better. The Jets are going to move the ball. If you throw that Bills game out, the Jets are averaging 27 points a game. So I have no feel for this other than to say, we're going to get up for certain games this year. We're going to get up for the Giants at home. Terrified to lose that one. We got up for the Packers because of the Micah thing. We got up for game 1 against the Eagles, which we lost. I'm not sure we get an all-out effort this week to topple the mighty Jets. I would take a tie. Every week.
It's funny you say that. I looked it up. The odds of a tie are 27-1. If you want 2,700.
Oh, for this game,
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we had 2 overtime games in a row on the night. Right. So, what if we ended up 1, 2, and 14? If we had 14 ties, this is looking like a EPL record here. That's a huge win for Jerry, right? Does that make the playoffs?
Does it? Maybe.
Do you have to have wins, or could 1, 2, and 14 do it?
There's a world where 1, 2, and there's a path.
We have to look into this. There's also a path for 3, 2, and 1 at the end of 6 games. We have the Jets and the Panthers. If they're anything like they're supposed to be, they'll win these dumb games. So there you go. All right, listen, let's take a break. And then we have our Sunday hate bets. We have our player props for Sunday and Monday. And then I promise we'll get to baseball. We got a lot of it. We'll be right back. All right, Sunday hate bet. Heifetz, why are you saying Dolphins? Just because you hate the team?
He hates us.
I hate the team. I hate the Dolphins. I hate betting on Miami, but I'm like, I kind of think a little Ewing theory, Tyreek. I almost kind of wonder if the offense will weirdly look better. I kind of just believe in Malik Washington. I think that's a prop too. Over 3.5 catches. I think that's easy. I don't know why, but I refuse to bet on the Panthers. Pod quit. Dabbundo's smarter than me. He's probably right. You're buying the dip. People are saying the Dolphins look better.
Maybe not.
The Panthers are worse. But I'm kind of like, man, I kind of just think Miami's going to win this game, man. I hate betting on Miami. I don't believe in them, but I believe in the Panthers a lot less.
Interesting. All right. Dabbundo, you have a parlay that you hate to bet. I don't mind this one. What do you hate so much?
I hate it. I hate everything about these international games. They never go to script. Yeah. I'm also betting on a team in maybe the worst situational spot ever with these third straight year where we've had the same team stay in Europe and then play a team that has to come that week. The Jags beat Buffalo. They housed New England last year in this spot, and now they get Dylan Gabriel making his first start. But the Minnesota O-line injuries are so awful. I mean, everybody's out, except for Darrisaw. It's like center, backup center, right guard, right tackle. They're in a lot of trouble. And so are the Browns, bringing in Cam Robinson off the Texans, backup reserves list of the worst O-line in the league. I don't think either team can block in this game. I think both defensive coordinators eat. But I actually think which team has the easiest path to offense, it might be Cleveland's running game against Minnesota here. I think they can actually run it a little bit with Judkins. And if they just don't turn it over, if they tell Gabriel to do nothing, don't throw down the field, only check downs, punts, and runs, Wentz is, I think, maybe more likely to make a mistake. And so Browns plus 3.5 parlayed with the under. This game ends like 13-10, and it's plus 237.
Interesting. There are 2 schools of thoughts, right? You get rid of the crappy Wentz, Dylan Gabriel game when, 6:30 in the morning on the West Coast when maybe everyone's not watching, but it's also kind of featured right? Heifetz, like it's a featured game.
Yeah,
I'm like,
well,
I'll get this off my television.
We were
Yeah,
going to
I don't
send
have to
better
worry about
quarterbacks, but with tariffs now, they only ended up
Right.
with just Dylan Gabriel and Wentz.
That's
Couldn't
true.
send starters, but I agree with everything you're saying, Dabbundo. I think everything about this points to like I actually think the Browns would win the game. I refuse to bet it because I just personally refuse to bet on a rookie quarterback who was a third-round pick making his first career start against the Brian Flores defense in England. However, I agree with everything you're saying. Everything else you're saying. I won't be surprised if the Browns win this game. Everything to me points to actually Cleveland could win. The Dylan Gabriel of it like scares me off. But the this could be ugly.
Oh
game.
yeah. I
What
think
will be uglier?
Spelled it out. 13-10. Go ahead.
This game or my friend's tailgate party in the Eagles K lot on Sunday before Eagles Broncos 1 o'clock start.
Oh really? Are you?
Yeah,
going
I'm going
to
to the tailgate. I am going to the tailgate. Yeah.
Does that conflict with the Phillies?
No, Phillies are off Sunday.
They're off Sunday, right?
Yep.
Okay, all right.
Because it's the day of God, and Philadelphia is like Gomorrah. So they
a huge weekend at the sports complex. We've got Temple football Saturday afternoon.
Oh man, wow.
We've got Flyers preseason Saturday afternoon.
Whoa, slow down.
Phillies playoffs on Saturday. Eagles Broncos on Sunday, and then Monday Eagles Phillies.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it too late to get a WNBA team to put in the finals?
We're getting one. We don't know when yet. I don't think.
Okay. All right. It's too early then.
We're getting there.
All right. Well, I'll jump on with the Gomorrah Eagles here as my Sunday hate bet -210. I want them to lose as much as anyone, but I have to put this on a parlay, just the money line. Should I take Bournemouth +0.5 Dabbundo today? When's that kick? In like 2 hours? Parlay that. Maybe I'll get that down
Kicks
to
at
even
3. Let me see.
Yeah. Okay.
Make sure Semenyo's in.
Yeah, get back to me on that. But Denver, I don't think is ready to beat this team. So this was one of your 107s, though, right? Denver, Heifetz?
Yeah, we went with Denver +4.5.
Yeah,
I feel pretty.
I just don't think they're on short rest. Maybe they do cover, but maybe Hurts doesn't throw a pass in the second half.Maybe it's all tush push plays in the last quarter. But Philly's going to win. And by the way, sign me up for Hurts -140 to score a touchdown. He didn't do it last week. He did it like at 16 of 19 the regular season games before that. -1. You'll hear more about this on Sunday, but that's my hate bet.
I bet Denver team total under 19.5.
Okay.
I'm pretty confident in this part of the handicap. I thought the Eagles defense had one of their best games of the season last week. Again, There was a couple big plays that they kind of broke open, but that was
they were all
spot.
big plays. It was 2 giant touchdowns and 2 field goals that were from like 58 and 60.
One was 60.
60.
Yeah.
So they 65, right? Am I crazy? That was the longest.
I think it was 63, but it might have been 65. It was in the 60s.
Longest outdoor field goal of all time. Yeah. All right. So those are our hate bets. Heifetz, you're the fantasy guy. Give us a bunch of props here.
I think I should just pre-record a segment we can play every week now of McCaffrey and Jalen Hurts to just parlay them both getting a touchdown.
Oh, okay.
And I almost want to add James Cook into that. I know McCaffrey already played. So I would just say, weirdly, Justin Fields, sometimes you can do the same game parlays on FanDuel. If you do like negatively correlated bets, it kind of jumps out. So if you bet Justin Fields under 51 rushing yards, where basically the idea is everyone saw him running Monday Night Football, and it's like 50 is a lot. But he still scores a touchdown, but has under 50 yards. It's like 4-1. It's +417 for Fields to get a touchdown versus Dallas, but not at 50 rushing yards. I kind of love that. It's super doable. And the other one, if that sounds insane to you, is just Jordan Mason under 68 rushing yards. We talked about Seattle, and I just think the Browns defense is just like such a wagon that game. The Vikings offensive line, I meant to mention this earlier with Dabbundo, but 68 rushing yards. I'm like, it's very like 3-4 backup offensive linemen. They're gonna shut down the run. It's just like, all right, Carson Wentz, like throw. And I just think that's a really good bet. 68, 68 for Mason.
Nice.
And also,
and you like
Diggs,
yeah.
Stephon Diggs, 2 touchdowns, 22-1. Stephon Diggs, Patriots revenge game Sunday Night Football, Buffalo.
Interesting.
I like the anytime touchdown, but I kind of like the 2 touchdowns. Bill was saying he thinks it'll be close. If Bill thinks it'll be close, if you think it'll be close, 22-1 for, I think the guy who's emerging. I think he's the first few weeks, he's coming back from the ACL still, but I just kind of do believe that they do want to get the ball to a guy like Diggs against Buffalo in this spot. 22-1's big for, I think the Patriots are going to score a few touchdowns.
And you're right. If Bill, who was in last place in the Ringer Fantasy Football League and also in last place in the Ringer 107 thing, thinks it's going to be close, of course this game's going to be close.
Boom.
I hope it is kind of close, but I hope they lose. Like that'll be sadder, right? To do a podcast right after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's root for that. Dabbundo, Woody Marks. Oh my God. I think people added them. I think they dropped them. I think Heifetz, you keep track of the most ad drop players in the league so far.
Yeah, we need like a word or something for the players. The
yo-yo.
Yeah, there are players that go up and down and everything on people's rosters, but Woody Marks has probably already been on 3 teams this year, and then now someone's out. He's gonna be the starter like all year now, probably.
And now he's Dabbundo's darling here. He's betting over 15.5 receiving yards.
Yeah, Woody. I love how they use Woody in the passing game, the screen game. When you can't block and you're playing a defense that has no ability to tackle or cover or pass rush, then I think this is a great matchup. I just don't think the market's correctly accounting for the fact that he's taken the job. And they're going to look to get him out in space as much as possible. He went over this in 2 of the last 3 one-on-one catch. Right, he's so explosive in space. And the question was, can he be an every down back? That I'm a little dubious of, to be honest. And you even saw last week he had like 17 rushes for like 50 yards, and he was fine. But it wasn't like Houston's run game was great. But in the receiving game, he is a weapon. So I like Marks over 15.5 receiving.
Love that. And this is just a fantasy gripe pick here, but I'm taking Zach Charbonnet. Anytime touchdown plus 130. Good chance you cash on this. He has 2 touchdowns. Kenneth Walker has 3. He has 2 red zone touches. Kenneth Walker has 11. They split it. It drives me nuts as a Kenneth Walker fantasy guy. I also have both in fantasy. What do you think of this idea, Heifetz? If you are wise enough to handcuff the running backs at this point, you should get both. What do you think of that? You get the A entry and the B entry, and then people would draft around that,
Sometimes I do think about if you could just take the same way you have a team defense, if you just had team running back and you just I do think about how much it would probably be way more fun if like everyone just had 3 teams running games.
Like the team, we'll just start with a pairing. It doesn't have to be the whole team, right? Because that gets confusing with the quarterback running and everything else. But yeah. All right, I'm going to push for a league like that. And
Lions would be like the first pick every year, right? Just
you're right.
And Gibbs, basically. That's a hack.
Well, but no, I think you'd have to be able to draft them. So there would be more defense being played by other teams to make sure you didn't get Montgomery after you drafted Gibbs. You know what I mean? I don't know.
You have to complete the pairing. Oh, okay.
Yes, I think I should be rewarded for having both these guys on my fantasy team and always picking the wrong one. But anyway. That's me. Ringer Gambling Show is brought to you by FanDuel, and FanDuel's turning up the heat every Sunday with Power Hour. Every Sunday from 3 to 5 Eastern Time, FanDuel is giving you a profit boost to use on live bets during the most intense stretch of the NFL slate. This is when games flip, underdogs rally, parlays hit. Woody Marks goes over 16.5 receiving yards, 15.5, not even. Charbonnet scores a touchdown. You got Stephon Diggs. Well, that'll be a little later in the evening, but you can get Darius Slayton receiving yards over. All the things we just mentioned. It's called Power Hour for a reason. It happens every Sunday only on FanDuel. Head to FanDuel.com/gamblers to get started. You must be 21 or older and present in select states, or 18 and older and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. 3 game threes yesterday. It was very exciting. The Tigers took the first one, eliminating the Guardians. What a stupid thing that was. What was that, Dabbundo? What the hell did the Tigers do? They did all that winning and then did all that losing just to take out the Guardians? What was that?
I don't think could not have played out better for my narratives, which every year you hear this you got to get hot at the right time.
Right.
You want to get hot right before the playoffs. Guess what? Cleveland was the hottest team in the league. Detroit couldn't win a game for a month. They get a 3-game series in Cleveland. Oh, Cleveland's going to win. They've been the hot team. Nope.
No.
Detroit takes them down.
Am I sapped that I was kind of rooting for Detroit? I really just didn't want that to happen to them. I thought that was brutal. And I was actually happy that the Tigers won.
Yeah, well, I had Tigers.
And they're a better baseball team, too. No disrespect to Cleveland, but...
I mean, Dabbundo, can you imagine having a massive lead in a division, like insurmountable seeming, and then blowing it and not being able to advance? That must have. I mean, I can't imagine.
And then if it happened
my
twice
God.
in
What a
15
jerk.
years
That would've
to
been-
your
What a
team,
jerk.
No, I actually am sorry, Sal. I actually feel bad. That was a pot shot. When you said on Bill's show the other day that the Mets almost became the first team to ever be 20 games over 500 and finish under 500.
Yeah.
My actual jaw dropped. I couldn't believe that, and I actually,
Yeah,
am
I
sorry.
know.
I
think
just feel bad
had
for you.
some of the players known that was in play, they might have strived for that. That's how bad we were. They would have actually tried to get to 500. Hey, listen, today is the year anniversary that Pete hit that home run against the Brewers to go up, the most exciting play in probably the last 20 years for the Mets. So I'm just going to celebrate that. I'm going to have a tailgate out here. What do you think of that, Dabbundo? I don't care
That's
about any of
fine.
these other dumb games. Yeah.
You guys can have your own. The Cancun series starts on Monday, so
Son of a bitch.
get ready. I believe the Padres have declined their invitation following yesterday's debacle. But the D-backs might be around. Maybe the Red Sox will join.
Okay.
Eric Crochet,
All right.
he looked like he was ready to pitch last night. Maybe he'll go start Monday.
I'm all about peace. I'm all about peace. Yes, the Cubs top the Padres. You mentioned that. They're furious. The Padres are with the umps and reporters. We saw Manny Machado go after a reporter. The Yankees beat the Red Sox. That was big news out here. Cam Schlittler pitched lights out. And holy Schlittler is on the cover of the New York Post. This is a tough one for me because in L.A., my asshole friends are Red Sox fans. And out here, my friends I grew up assholes also New York Yankee fans. So that was a no win. Do you guys have that like in football or baseball? Like I thought when the Patriots played the Giants, I could not root for either team in the Super Bowl. This happens a lot. Do you guys have any of those?
I had a huge one in my family when the Patriots played the Eagles, and this the first time the one that and Nick Foles ended up winning, and my family was like, we can't root for anyone, and I argued that I wanted Philadelphia to win more than I wanted New England to win.
Wow.
And they basically thought my family wanted to disown me. And I argued that like the NFC East is like your local division, but it was closer to me like college football, where like Michigan hates Ohio State. Well, I guess Ohio State's a bad example. You hate the other teams in your conference, but you do want your conference to win. But I was like, New England to me was the ultimate evil. It was like making peace with your allies to beat, like, I can't root for like the devil. That was how I viewed New England. But my family, they haven't spoken to me since. That was 8 years ago.
Well, they were probably looking to shake you free anyway. But
yeah, it was just
and then they found out your
they're
thoughts
waiting for the moment to.
It was kind of like
sever.
how the president almost force quit you, you know?
That's it. Exactly right. Let's pounce now. Dabbundo, what about you? Do you have any of those?
Not in the sports that normal people watch, but 3 years ago, the Philadelphia Union were in the MLS Cup final, and they were playing against LAFC, and LAFC had signed Gareth Bale, who is and was my favorite soccer player of all time. So we've got the local team in the championship playing against my favorite player ever, and I'm at a watch party with a friend whose now fiance works for the team, the Union. And I'm at the party and they sub on Bale. And I know what's going to happen. I'm sitting there and I'm trying to just kind of sit in the corner quietly. And of course, Bale scores the game tying goal and they lose the championship. And it was hours before the Phillies lost the World Series. And so I'm still made fun of for this because I wasn't that upset when Gareth Bale scored the goal. I just wasn't. Like, he's my favorite player ever. I've been a fan of him about as long as the Union have existed. So it was a tricky situation.
Wow.
And
the actual Union or the team, the Union?
The both.
Not the country. Yes.
Gareth Bale,
I wasn't
249. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't that upset when he scored either. I don't know about you, Heifetz. It was just like another goal for me.
But I understand. Yeah.
Have you ever seen a sports city lose 2 championships in one day? Because I have.
That is interesting.
And it didn't bother you.
No, you're good.
The first one didn't. The second one.
Take the helmet off. Dodgers and Yankees back on top of the FanDuel Sportsbook odds, like it was most of the year. Dodgers plus 410, Yankees plus 410. The Filthies are plus 500, and then Seattle is plus 550. Let's talk about this senior circuit matchup here at Dabbundo. The Dodgers are favored. Are you insulted that the Dodgers are favored in this matchup? It's pretty slight, minus 124. Phillies plus 106.
I asked 3 different people to give me a projection for this series. I got one who said Phillies minus 107, one who said Dodgers minus 107, one who said Dodgers minus 111. I feel like coin flip is about right. You know, if the Phillies start to drift to like plus 115, then I will probably place a wager on them. I think our biggest advantage is actually in game 1. Chris Sanchez at home in the last 2 seasons, the Phillies are 26-4. And I've done this on the Philly special with Shield. There is something going on with the mound or the backdrop or the arm slot. Something about the mound at Citizens Bank Park amplifies his changeup and his sinker to the point where he is incredibly dominant. And apparently opposing teams have like done research into this. The Phillies have actually had the mound measured to figure out what is going on. But there's a 13-2 at home this year, 13-2 last year, including playoffs, and his ERA is like 2.2. So this is the game they have to win on Saturday. This is the most important game for them. I do think they will win Saturday. I think it will go 5 games, and then all bets are off. I don't know.
Well, the Dodgers.
My heart says Phillies. My gut says Dodgers.
I'm trying to just key into this line why your Phillies are an underdog here. You took 4 or 6 from the Dodgers in the regular season. The Dodgers you're throwing 3 lefties at them, right? They're barely above 500. I think they're like 43 and 42 against lefties. So that's not their sweet spot. But yeah, that's what jumped out to me. All right, so we'll get to value bets in a second. Milwaukee minus 116 over Chicago. Milwaukee, obviously, with home field. There's the first time, it's a big rivalry, but the first time they ever met in the playoffs. This is my best bet, value-wise, Chicago plus 100. They won 7 out of 13, 7-6. Peralta's really the only ace in this series. You know, it's funny, Heifetz, when you were talking about you wanted Detroit to win, I was like, I want to see good starting pitchers. I get burnt out by the relievers coming in the 4th inning. So if we get a Skubal in there, why not? So I'm not picking Milwaukee. I do appreciate Peralta's the only ace in this series, but the Cubs bullpen is on a heater this year. Penn struck out 30.8% of the batters they faced in the final month of the season. And I don't know if the week off does Milwaukee any good, even though they lost 5 of the last 7 and they were 8-10 the last 18. Should be a fun one. Lots of small ball, right? Both teams steal a lot of bases, but I think the Cubs bullpen and just overall veteran leadership on the mound, everyone's like 30, 32, 34, going to get it done in 4 games plus 100. Now, Heifetz, what are we going to do about this Yankees series? Minus 156, Toronto plus 132, despite the fact that they're 8-5 against the Bronx Bombers this year.
I'm kind of a sucker. I think the Yankees are going to win. I think minus 150 is a lot, and I understand that, but I do look overall. I don't know exactly who the Blue Jays pitchers are going to be, but if it's like if Shane Bieber ends up pitching this series, I'm like, the Yankees put up 7 earned runs on Bieber, like in 2020 when he was on the Guardians. I mean, Scherzer, if he ends up pitching in this series, kind of like, he's 41. He's even when he was at his peak, he's the solo home run king. You know what I mean? Scherzer is like always down to like dare hitters. It's like I kind of don't hate Scherzer, like basically daring pitchers to like, or daring hitters to like hit a shot off him. I kind of do like the Yankees' ability to put up points on Scherzer. And I think the other thing with Blue Jays, I don't think
they call them runs. They call them runs now.
Good point. Points. Yeah, it's a good point. Well, there you go. See,
it's a good run.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
When you're like 4 years old, you make the turn in your head.
I want a lot of points. But the thing about the Blue Jays that I'm less afraid of is, to your point, but the Cubs, great bullpen. The Blue Jays, I don't think Blue Jays fans trust Jeff Hoffman. I mean, I gave up most home runs in the 9th inning this year. His ERA is like 4.4 as a closer. Yeah. I you know what I mean? I'm like, look, pot calling the kettle black. Like the Yankees bullpen is somehow Devin Williams is one of the 2 relievers they trust, and Devin Williams was persona non grata for Yankees fans all year. So that fears me. And honestly, I think the Yankees can win it. The fielding is the issue. When the whole AL East flipped because the Blue Jays June, July took 6 of 7 from the Yankees made 11 errors in that game. Goes back to the World Series last year, the 5th inning. Like if the Yankees can, like the Blue Jays put the ball in contact and put the ball in play more than any team in baseball. So I'm like, if the Yankees can just field balls and throw them to first base, I think the Yankees will win. And if you don't think that, then probably the Blue Jays are a good bet.
It's funny because Volpe, there are people out here crying about how he shouldn't even be on the playoff roster. And because of a lot of those reasons you said, Heifetz, where do you put him? Can't field the ball, but big hits and big spots definitely
fielded well this series too.
He fielded a bad throw from Jazz Chisholm last night.
Yeah.
Kind of saved the game.
So there are no easy outs in that Toronto lineup, but the Yankees still favored at minus 156.
I got a problem with the Toronto staff too. They are 21st in bullpen ERA second half. They are 26th in expected ERA. They don't have a top end starter. I think it'll be Bieber and Gausman game 1 and 2. They haven't announced it yet, but my favorite bet for this series is actually Toronto to win game 1, Yankees to win the series. We're running it back from the wild card round. Fading the Yankees early in the series and then trusting their lineup and their pitching depth to win in the series. Because I think that when they're able to go Fried, Rodon, and Schlittler, 2, 3, 4. That's where this series really shifts. I don't trust Luis Gil. I know he was a little better down the stretch, but a lot of walks, and he's been pitching to a lot of contact. So I don't love Gil. And I think their bullpen's going to be pretty taxed coming in after playing 3 straight days. So I'm going Jays game 1. Yankees win the series 3-1. And I think we're going to get a great Yankees-Mariners coast-to-coast clash.
In that case, betting the Yankees to win the series after they lose game 1 could make sense. It'd probably be a better value.
Should that number be higher, or is it because the Yankees are favoring the series to begin with that it's only 3-1?
And this is the only game Toronto I think will be a favorite. Is game 1.
On that, I want to ask you the same question about the Dodgers-Phillies. If the Phillies are favored to win game 1, why are they underdogs to win the series if they're the one on rest?
Well, I don't know how much the rest really matters because the Dodgers barely had to burn any pitching last week against the Reds. But yeah, I mean, look, Chris Sanchez at home is the Phillies' ace in the hole. Also, that is their biggest advantage.
To your point, though, Sal, you said we'd get to value bets. I know you want to do series, World Series and stuff, but I'm like, Dabbundo just nailed. Your teams are measuring the mound for the Phillies because when Chris Sanchez pitches, shouldn't we just put all our money on this Chris Sanchez start tonight? Teams are measuring the mound because he's so good.
The Phillies had the mound measured because they saw what has been seen by some of the bettors.
Is that a common? I've never heard of teams measuring a mound.
No, I haven't either. Can you bet on that?
It's like an inch and it's like an inch and a half.
Under inches off.
Yeah, I think we should be able to do that. That's very weird. I'll tell you what though. Yeah, see that now is weird with this stat, but Dabbundo, you're not excited about betting unders in this Dodgers-Phillies game, right?
No.
I mean, the Reds,
no.
you can say what you will. The Reds, it was 10-5. They had bases loaded in the it was at game 1 and the 8th. It easily could have been a 10-7, 10-8 game. This is going to be, I think there's going to be something like 11-9 games, and you're just going to have to hope you have 11.
Yeah, both bullpens are a little shaky. The Phillies have Duran at the back end. If they can get to Duran, then they're going to be tough to beat, but the middle relief is rough. They don't have a lot of stuff guys. And of course, like all anybody can talk about is how bad the Dodgers bullpen is. So
I was going to say, what do you guys make? What do you make, Sal, of the Dodgers using? So Ohtani's going to start game 1, right? Tonight?
Yes.
Or sorry, on Saturday. And so I get why, because if he's pitcher, then you can move him to DH. And then if you DH him and he comes out of the bullpen, then you have to, if he comes out of the game as a pitcher, he's out or whatever.
You lose the DH.
But I'm like, shouldn't Ohtani be the closer for this team? I'm like, the idea that like Schwarber is going to be up against name a Dodgers reliever. I'm like, I like this. I like the Phillies in this series. I think there's less pucker factor.
I love the idea of him as a closer. And at the beginning of the year, I said that.
Can he throw back-to-back days though? That's the question. Like if you use him in game 1 as a closer for 2 innings, is he then down until game 4? Like, is he going to be able to come back for game 2 or game 3?
I guess it depends how much he bet on the series itself. Yeah.
That's a good. Sally just nailed it. We need to figure out what Ohtani's betting on and tail him. Or I guess he was down a lot. We should fade him.
Yes. Definitely fade him. But
just fade whatever
he's
Ohtani's
good.
doing.
His team's good. He's obviously not betting the Dodgers. And then the last one is Seattle, Detroit. And this is the heftiest favorite, Dabbundo, minus 172. If you like the Mariners, Detroit, the take back is plus 146. Seattle took 4 of 6 from Detroit. You have like a correlated bet here too.
Yeah, I like Seattle game 1, Seattle series, a minus 110. Huge pitching advantage, rest advantage. The Tigers burned so much of their bullpen over 3 days, and they're going to have Skubal for game 2 and game 5, but they're not going to have Skubal for game 1. It's going to be, I think Kiter Montero followed by a bunch of bullpen relievers, and a lot of these guys have pitched this week, and Seattle has a considerable lineup advantage here. They have a really patient lineup, which I think will wear down this Tigers staff. So if it gets to a game 5 and Skubal's on the mound, am I going to feel great? No, but I do like Seattle to win game 1 in the series. Don't mind Seattle minus 1.5 either. I think they get this done in 4.
I looked on FanDuel. The least likely outcome, and this could be one of those years, is that the Tigers beat the Brewers in the World Series, plus 4,500. Anybody taking it?
Did you see the stat about the Brewers, the Grim Reaper stat?
I'm not sure. What was it?
The bottom 4 teams in barrel rate in baseball this year. Like how often do you barrel the ball?
Right.
Cincinnati just got eliminated. Cleveland just got eliminated. San Diego just got eliminated. The 4th team on the list is the Milwaukee Brewers.
Oh, I got it. So, I mean, I made a nice pick there with the Cubs.
They don't hit the ball. They don't hit the ball in the air hard.
Should I cash out now?
No, 2008 Cardinals. Bill had a rule: don't bet against God and puppies. I think God's with the Brewers this year.
Yeah. Because that's who I thought you were calling the Grim Reaper.
Oh yeah, that's kind of
that's really going out there. I don't know, but
we're gonna
he wrote a
the
letter to the
Panthers
team.
pod.
He wrote a letter. You're right. To the
Wasn't that a fake letter?
Was it fake? Was it?
I thought they said that it wasn't actually a letter he wrote. They just pretended he wrote it because it included details from the season that, with all due respect, Bob could not have possibly known.
Yeah. Oh man, half the club.
It was a fake letter.
It was AI. Crying. It's like Al Michaels.
Fair enough. Oh my God. I don't know. All right.
Nothing's sacred
really
anymore, Sal. Nothing is sacred.
I guess not. Let's go over this college football slate. Not too impressive. There's a couple of good games. Texas at Florida. They were a 6.5-point favorite, Texas, and now they're 4.5. Tate Frazier and I gave a bunch of reasons why we like Florida at 6.5. Actually, it was just one reason, and that's that we're just going to keep betting them until, God forbid, they cover an effing game. But Texas offense outside of the top 100, I'm not ready to give up on DJ Lagway just yet.
You sure?
But why? No, I'm not sure. Definitely not sure. But why did it go down to 4.5? I mean, Florida's running back is out too. Like, I'm not sure why this people are pounding these. Tate and I have our reason, but I don't know why anyone else is betting Florida here.
What's the total?
It was 43.5. Did that move?
43.5 for a college game. Oh my goodness.
You put this game down to talk about, Sal, and I looked up the line, and I don't know what I was expecting, but I guess I just in my head thought it would be double digits.
Right.
And I actually would like you guys to explain to me. It's what is it, 6.5 or 8.5?
It's 4.5 now. Yeah.
What?
And 42.5.
I don't understand.
So the Florida defense is good.
Who's the one team Florida beat this year? Connecticut or
Florida defense
Long
is good.
Island? They beat Long Island. That's the one win.
They don't have a really good. Long Island is so tough, though. So tough, especially if you get them in the beginning of the year. No, I think the idea is we haven't seen a ton out of Arch Manning, and they are, like I said, outside the top 100. Offensively, I think defensively they could really. It's so funny. I've seen two schools of thoughts here. Like they got to put Lagway down, much like the LSU did.
Like he's a dog.
They're like, no. Yeah, maybe that too. But also the others like, no, let him throw. We'll mix up coverages and we'll come away with the ball more easily that way. But 4.5 is weird that it's gone down this much.
LSU only had 10 first downs against Florida's defense.
Right.
But the problem is like Lagway, if they do fall behind and Lagway has to throw.
That's it.
To that point too, this is a big game for the draft with Arch Manning, whatever year he ends up coming out, because honestly, the 4 games you play against the best defenses are overrepresented. And if he comes out and Florida wins and he sucks, like that matters a lot.
Sure. Definitely.
Remember when CJ Stroud had that one game against Georgia in the playoff and everybody was like, oh my God, he's the best quarterback ever lived.
Well, then he went to the playoffs as a rookie. Broke the record for playoff touchdowns and yards.
And then he lost all of his athleticism and he got
Now he's old. Now he's an old man.
That was years ago.
See what 2 years will do? Yeah. Miami at FSU. This is a good clash of Florida. Miami's favored by 4.5. It's 53.5. This spread here. Another one with the did they put the Heisman up? They didn't have the Heisman. Is it because I'm here in New York? Is that why I'm not seeing the Heisman odds? Is that what it?
I got the Heisman odds. The Heisman odds. What do you want? Dante Moore is plus 500. Good. Ty Simpson's plus 950. Jeremiah Smith is 10-1. Carson Beck is plus 12. Trinidad Chambliss is 12-1. Fernando Mendoza is 14-1. Tell me when you want me to stop.
No, that's good. I just Carson Beck at 12-1. I know, really, not anything like we thought going in, but 12-1. This could move him closer to the top, I think, with a win. At FSU.
There's no way Carson Beck can win the Heisman.
Carson Beck winning the Heisman would be unbelievable.
There's no way he can win the Heisman.
I would have thought there's no way he'd get $3.5 million in nil, but here we are. 4.5 point
zero,
favorite.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I thought he'd have to pay. He has to pay to play. Yeah. Nil.
He gets paid per Snapchat.
Yeah.
Oh,
I would take the underdog
money then.
I take the dog here again too, Florida State. But the game that I'm most interested in is Clemson at UNC. 14.5 point favorite. Clemson is on the road. They're atrocious. Carolina's atrocious. The relationship situation is atrocious there for Coach Belichick. 46.5 is the over under. What's the better result for the ACC here, Heifetz? Clemson just continues to lose and Carolina wins, or Clemson gets back on track and maybe they're like a serious conference again?
No, it's well for me, who kind of just wants to watch the world burn. It'd be really funny if UNC beat Clemson. That would be incredible. But I mean,
Right.
honestly, if Clemson rocks UNC, no one's gonna care. So it's way funnier if UNC wins this game. You know, it's funny when you said over under 46.5. I thought you were making a joke about the age difference between Belichick and
Oh,
but it's actually way over. It's not even close
it's more.
to the age difference.
Yeah, someone tweeted something that was like, I forgot, but the joke, like it got tens of thousands of likes. I'm like, the joke's not even, you said, I think it was like similar to what you said. It's like 13.5 is a spread. That's also the difference between like, no, he's 79 years older than her. This is, but yeah. What do you think, Dabbundo?
The best outcome is that they move this game to the Cartoon Network and nobody watches it.
Put this in the London spot. I would watch
honestly.
this.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Yeah. Can she go to London? She doesn't even need a passport, right?
I don't know how you even bet Clemson in this spot. I don't care how bad UNC is. If you're laying 2 touchdowns on the road with Clemson against a D1 team right now, with everything going on there and the fact that they've clearly quit.
Yeah,
no.
But by the way, I have them on a money line parlay, and I'm terrified.
Come on,
Georgia and Michigan.
They might have quit on the season. You're parlaying.
Why do you do this to yourself, Sal?
Yeah,
I don't know. I have to sell. It's a long trip back.
Of all the 14-point favorites that are playing football this week, Clemson might be the least trustworthy one.
Oh my God, UNC's so bad though. They can't move the ball.
No, Clemson's gonna win. You'll be. What could go wrong?
There you go. That's it. Not too many good college games, so I think we hit them all. Let's do some handy clipping. I'm going to show you guys a clip or a news item, and we're going to set odds accordingly to what the outcome will be for some of these. Now, Heifetz, we're going to lead off with you. You're at the top of the order here. You were in Dublin, and there's this game. What is this called? Tell us what we're about to see here.
The game is called hurling. It is played with a hurley or a stick, depending where you are from in Ireland, and you hit a ball through the field goal uprights for a point, or hit it into the goal like soccer for 3 points. And it was really easy for me. I found it pretty effortless. I was so good.
What?
Yeah, it was super easy. There were videos of me missing, but as soon as everyone stopped recording, I was like Aaron Judge. I just started crushing it through the uprights. I found the whole thing pretty easy. I think it's.
Oh, really? Yeah. Interesting. Oh, okay. Because this video says otherwise here, and it's not like a wiffle ball bat. It's like a paddle. You should be able to make contact at some point. I don't know.
Well, contact. It's really what is contact really?
Right. Contact. Maybe you had a contact high when you were trying to get a hold of this. Yeah.
All these like 12-year-old kids were watching at me, and I was like, this is a nightmare. And I was like, they actually weren't making fun of me. They really wanted me to do it. They really believed in me, which somehow was worse when I couldn't hit the ball than being laughed at. Something about them really believing in me and wanting me to succeed and still failing. I felt like I actually let them down.
Sure. Dabbundo, we're watching him swing and miss over and over and over here. What is Heifetz's over under for BAC, blood alcohol contact? I'm going to say 0.19. You say over or under?
What time of day was it, Heifetz?
That video was like 7 o'clock on a Saturday.
PM?
Yeah.
Over.
Oof.
Over.
Yeah.
I don't know. You ever try to like figure out like, are we're all in this sports media thing. Who is not athletic? I would have pegged Heifetz as like underrated sports player.
I know exactly what happened, which was I was at a bachelor party earlier, the one where I don't want to get into that, and I hit we were hitting baseball's home run derby, and I was so confident that I was trying to swing really hard, and so that I just kept missing. So, but when the video stopped, I couldn't. I was just crushing.
No, of course.
The lights were too bright. Turn them off. Off.
Ran out of tape. Yeah. Everybody else seemed to be okay with it though on their second try, right? Horlback, it was the Kelly, right? Everybody hit it.
Yeah. No, me too. I did too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all did.
Burn the tapes.
All right, this is not as funny for me, but Mikey Meatballs, will you play this? This was a call to the Mets ticket office earlier this week.
Dude, Mets ticket office, this is Joe.
Hey, Joe, how you doing today? I'm just looking for some Mets playoff tickets.
Not happening. Mets aren't in the playoffs. How's it going, okay?
Go Phillies.
No one cares.
All right. Yeah. I don't, I love pranks. I've done over 200 pranks on Jimmy Kimmel Live throughout the years. I don't think this is fun. I don't see anything funny about this.
What?
I really don't. This is this
No,
man's job.
Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't admit now that Joe is one of my aliases.
Son of a bitch.
No, I agree. Sal's over the line. Can't believe it.
It's not good, right? This guy has a job to do. He's probably received like 10 of these before this. I don't like it.
It's probably better than all the other fans who were calling to cancel their season ticket renewals.
You see, I don't like that.
Like, this one's at least harmless. Everybody else,
this is the happiest guy that's called them in years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am going to put odds at minus 15,000 that this man goes to hell. I don't know if we could follow up on this.
I can't believe Sal is saying I'm going to hell.
Yeah. You're going to hell. This was you, Dabbundo.
I'm in the passenger seat of that video. Yeah.
I'll take that bet. Are you sure they're not already in hell?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah.
If they live in Philly, then they're in dreamland. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
The Met ticket guy is in hell for sure. All right.
That guy, that's tough.
Look, the amount of things that were said to me at Citi Field this year by Mets fans, even both games I went to, the Mets fans, just a lot of, it was good-natured trash talk.
Yeah.
They were yelling
nature trash talk.
They were yelling at his backswing. They threw a beer at his wife. It was crazy.
Right. That's what we do. Good natured trash talk. Not this. Not ruining a man's day. But
Sal, I know you're a jokester, but like in all seriousness with the Mets, are you okay?
No, I'm not okay. This was the second biggest disappointment, I think, in like 07, 08, but both those years actually were bad. Oh, son of a bitch.
At least it wasn't us this time.
Yeah, that's true. Minus 15,000. He's going to hell. All right, here's another one of my teams. Joe Milton, backup for the Dallas Cowboys, almost kills a fan playing catch. Did you see this? First of all, I don't know what the guy walked by his house with a football.
I think this guy was doing a delivery of like furniture or something. It was a
that's his truck
wheeler in a cul-de-sac.
Oh, okay.
I assume he just saw the name Joe Milton. This guy's probably a huge Cowboys fan in Arlington, Texas, or wherever, and like put two and two together. And Joe Milton's like, "Yeah, I'm Joe Milton." And I feel like that's the prologue, right?
Yeah, I'm going to give this a 3-year runway. In the next 3 years, I'm going to say plus 180 that a frustrated Joe Milton lands a fan in intensive care having a catch with him. I mean, this is really he almost really kills him. This
could he do that to a player? Could he do that to a player if he gets to start this year?
So he should do it at the defense. He like the punch at Thursday Football. He could really just take out the defense one by one. I will say, fun fact, I talked to Joe Milton about injuring people throwing the ball at the Senior Bowl. At the Senior Bowl, the year he was drafted,
flex.
Joe Milton had Mobile, Alabama, life. And Joe Milton threw a pass that was during the game during the practice that was so hard that it looked like a fastball. It went past people on the sideline who ducked, and it hit the brick wall of the stadium so hard and bounced, and it made a noise that reverberated. And I was like, I've never seen that. So I asked him about it the next day, and I was like, have you ever like hurt anyone throwing a football? And he got so mad at me. He was like, how dare you ask that question, bro? Like, what are you talking about? Well, actually, I get, now that I think about it, actually, yeah, I broke 2 different receivers in high school. I broke their fingers. So yeah, actually, I guess I've injured multiple people.
Wow. And he didn't
literally recalled it in the middle of being mad. He's like, actually, yeah, I've heard it. I've heard a bunch of people.
Did he ask if you ever heard anyone hurling? Because the answer to that would be no, right? Unless the ball bounced off the ground.
Hurt himself at the back.
Yeah,
maybe.
Right.
I mean, it's not like my ego was hurt. It's not like nobody was, some people were injured. Injuries come in all shapes and forms.
Does Joe Milton have to register his arm as a lethal weapon? Like at least when there's a football involved?
In Texas, you don't have to register anything.
Dude, he's like Henry Rowengartner in that movie Rookie of the Year. Like it's actually insane that anyone can throw a football that fast.
Yeah. You know who I hope has a catch with him? That shithead Phillies fan who called into the Mets ticket office.
You've seen the Peyton Manning United Way video, right? Where he throws the ball at the kids. Like that. And then he teaches them how to rob the cars. It's like the OG. Yeah. They should do that with Joe Milton. Just remake it.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all, to be honest. I don't mind signing off either. We've gone like an hour and 15 minutes. That's good. You guys feel happy about everything?
I feel great. 3-2 in the 107 this week, Sal?
3-2 in the 107. Dabbundo living large, going to the playoffs. Start. Philly's going to score 1 billion runs against the Dodgers. Heifetz going to watch his team beat the Saints as an underdog on the road.
So I'm going to hell too. We're beating the Saints up.
Yeah, right. And I'm getting the hell out of Brooklyn before the Jets take on the Cowboys. I don't need to be tempted anymore, but that's going to do it for another episode of the Ringer Gambling Show. For Anthony Dabbundo and Danny Heifetz, I'm Sal, saying so long, and may your parlays be prosperous. Must be 21 or older and present in select states, or 18 or older and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. You must be 21 or older and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 or older and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG, 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 877-8-HOPE-NEW YORK or text HOPE New York in New York.